Good evening. Welcome to the game one of the NBA draft. Game two will be going tomorrow night. Uh, right now they're taking to the Toronto Raptors full mini availability NBA draft round one. So enjoying the media conference right now.
Just take me through a little bit of your journey. You weren't the most heralded guy coming out, and here you are, first round NBA pick. What do you think was the key in you making that rapid rise?
I feel like it was just my hard work and dedication, just being dedicated to my craft, and not focusing on anything on the outside. Anybody telling me, I couldn't do it, anybody, telling me that they doubted me. But just knowing that I had a great support system around me, the people that are in my core and that are in my circle, always believed in me, no matter if I had a bad game, no matter if I had a good game, they just always believed in me and in the person that I was. And just knowing that they were always there supporting me. So I feel like it was just their support, and then also just my hard work and dedication, being dedicated to my craft, just being in the gym, being a gym rat, and just wanting to put myself on a bigger platform and prove everybody wrong.
Thanks again, and congrats.
Thank you.
Thanks, Grange. We'll go to John Chidley Hill next from Canadian Press.
Hey, Alan, congratulations. What would you say you bring to the Toronto Raptors? What's your skill set that you'll be bringing to the team?
Just a player that's going to impact winning at a high level. I feel like I have a great feel for the game, very cerebral player. Just offensively, just being able to be that connector piece. I don't need the ball in my hands. I don't need to score, uh, uh, a certain amount of points, but just being able to make the winning plays, being able to be willing to do anything that the team needs of me, and then on the defensive end, just being able to win the possession battle, deflection, steals, things like that, and rebounding. That's where I plan to impact most. Just getting offensive rebounds. Like I said, talked about winning the possession battle on that end as well, and then defensive rebounding, just making sure that they don't get any extra possessions.
As a follow-up, what do you know about the Raptors and their roster right now? Like, did you watch any of their games this past season?
Definitely. I know, obviously, Scotty, RJ. The team is just constructed. I know big wings. They love big wings and, big guards, Colin Murray that they drafted, just so I fit right in. And just, I know that the culture there is great just from my visit being there. So just knowing that I'm coming into a winning program that's in the right direction is amazing, amazing feeling. And knowing that I can help impact that winning that they're on the trajectory for.
Thanks very much, and congrats again.
Thank you.
Thank you. So we'll go to Eric and then Will. So go ahead, Eric. Eric Cream from The Athletic.
Hey, congratulations. Um, you mentioned your visit and you mentioned sort of the bigger disruptive wings and forwards that they sort of collected. Could you tell during your visit that that sort of skill set was something they prized? And also, what else did you learn while you were with the Raptors about about who they are?
I definitely knew that my type of player was, something that they liked. Obviously, on draft night, you don't know who's going to take you, but just knew that they were there. My visit there was amazing. I like to say it was one of my best visits, just the city wise, and then, just the team, just being around the culture, being around the Raptors, seeing all the players that were there, working out, and just, watching the coaching staff, just whether it was the head coach, whether it was assistants, they were all invested in each and every player. They actually take the time to get to know them and get to really build a personal relationship with them, and that's something that I really liked about the program, and something that I really noticed was because that's why I decided to go to Santa Clara, was for the personal aspect of it and how genuine Coach Herb was. So I could just see that they actually cared about the players off the court as well as on the court.
Congratulations again.
Thank you.
Thanks. So we'll go to Will Liu from Hello and Welcome, and then to Julian Apollinario from Raptors HQ.
Hey, what's up, Alan? Congratulations. I had two questions. Number one, emotionally, where you are right now, because obviously this is like a huge process. Like, who was on your mind, in terms of like who you were thankful for, and your whole journey up to this point of making the league.
Um, The only person that was on my mind was my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Just really thankful to him, really thankful for my relationship with him, and just that's what I pride myself on is my faith in him, and just knowing that he puts me in this position to be here talking to y'all today. And obviously, like we talked about, a lot of people doubted me, but that's the biggest part of why I'm here is because I stayed true to my faith in him and never wavered, and I'm gonna be myself regardless of who I'm around or what circumstance I'm in, and knowing that he's guiding my steps is the biggest part.
Oh, that's beautiful, man. The other question I was going to ask was, reading your profile. So you were a point guard coming up, and you hit a growth spurt. Can you walk us through like how big was the growth spurt? When was that, and what that's like to go from? Because obviously now you're 6'8".
Yep. So I grew up always being a point guard. I'm the youngest. I'm the baby in the family. Yeah, my brother, he's 8 years older than me, played at LSU. Sister, she's 3 years older than me, played at Auburn. So just growing up around them with our family motto, or not a motto, but something we used to say is we don't raise bigs. I was never the biggest guy in my class. I was always big, but never, the tallest or, abnormally tall. And then so I always grew up playing point guard and just, having that feel for the game. And then my freshman year, I was like 6 foot, and then my sophomore year, I shot up to like 6'7".
Yeah,
So huge growth spurt that freshman to sophomore year. I have a funny story about that, but y'all get to know that at a later date.
I was gonna ask for the story, but otherwise, congratulations, man.
Thanks, Will. Julian, I hope I got your last name correct. Welcome. Go ahead with your question.
Yeah, thank you so much. First things first, congratulations on the draft pick. We're so happy to have you. So you've mentioned that you kind of fit the profile for Raptors draft picks, big guards, big forwards, some of that point guard DNA within you. Can you tell me a little bit about how you plan to kind of slot in within Toronto's roster of forwards, and if there's a player, forward or otherwise, who you're really looking forward on playing with on this team?
Definitely, I feel like I fit in, just being that guy, that person that can connect the offense, be a connector piece on the offensive end, and then defensively, really want to work on, being able to switch, being able to guard, just like Colin Murray, Scotty Barnes, RJ Barrett, just being able to guard multiple positions, and just fit in that way. And then one person I'm really excited to be playing with is, obviously Scotty, just his position, watched a lot of his college film on his defensively, just him picking up full court, his enthusiasm to play the game of basketball, and then Colin Murray Boyle also just their defensive on the defensive side of the ball. That's one thing that I really want to focus on going into this league is being able to switch, and they obviously do a great job of that. And just really excited to get there and be able to learn any tips, tricks that they have for me, and just be a student of the game.
I tried Maple. Talked to a doctor about my allergies.
I literally just used it to renew my prescription.
Yeah.
I wear it for golf, to the office, I wear it everywhere. Hey guys, this is Joe Kudla, founder of Viore, and I'm here today to talk about one of my personal favorites, the MetaPan.
Bobby, kind of an interesting player. What about Alan Graves made him sort of the person you were happy to be having at 19?
Yeah, as a player, high processor, two-way player, wins the possession game, I think, on both ends of the floor. Obviously developing player as well, just played 1 year of college, so he'll, have the usual and typical adjustment to NBA, pace, speed, quickness. But I think we've seen him, level up as he's gone on. But yeah, it's sort of a young prospect that, we think does a few things really elite on the defensive end. And then offensively, obviously shooting, feel for the game. So we thought we got, one of the better two-way players in the draft.
Thanks.
Thanks. Go ahead, Eric.
Hey, Bobby. Is there something about those defensive metrics in college that you find more predictive of NBA success?
I don't know about predictive, but I think it sort of has to, the eye test is, I think, always, that's what the scouts are for, and that's what sort of alerts us to certain players. Sometimes the analytics pop in a certain way. But I think when you watch him play, it's the sort of disruptiveness on the defensive end that, really stood out. And then, these kids, we get to bring them up to Toronto. This, as you probably just saw, this kid's a, very personable young kid. great personality, great smile. And so I think from a culture standpoint, from a fit in the locker room, he matches on that end. But no, I think the evaluation is multi, right? It's watching games in person. It's a bit of analytics. It's our medical. It's bringing him into Toronto. Having him talk with our wellness and player development staff. And so we try to make the whole evaluation process as thorough as possible. And so, along the way, Alan checked all those boxes, and, we're really excited to have him.
Thank you.
Thanks, Eric. Go ahead, John Chidley Hill.
Hey, Bobby. Obviously, we just had Alan chat with us, and he said that of all his workouts, he felt like the one in Toronto went the best. I'm curious, from your perspective, did he say or do anything that really distinguished himself in his workout with you guys?
No, I think oftentimes the workout sort of confirms what you saw during the course of the college season. I think with him, he got in much better conditioning shape, and I think he said that he was injured towards the end of his year at Santa Clara, so his ankle seemed to be fully healthy. I think it's the same things we said, which was, the defense stood out. The shooting was interesting. I think that's what, people will focus on. His percentage in college was pretty high on low volume. And, can you extrapolate that out? And so developing shooter, I think, is interesting for us as well.
Thanks.
Thank you. So I'm going to go Will, Woolstat, Cash, and then Grange. Did you mean to raise your hand? We can discuss that. So go ahead, Will.
Yes.
Thank you.
Hey, Bobby. I kind of have a two-part question, but I think number one, I know you guys always talk about drafting best player available. It does seem like you guys have a type, right? Like this kind of fits a bit of the Division 6-9 kind of idea. Can you walk us through, like, in the team build idea, the commitment to sort of doubling down on these type of players that you guys have had success developing in the past, these big wings?
Yeah, I think it's always been best available two-way players, right? I think you can go back to, when we first started here. And so I think that's always been our philosophy. I think sometimes you get into a little bit of a trap if you try to take for fit in the first round or too high in the draft, because ultimately I think, listen, the NBA is super competitive, and things are always changing. So the turnover on a team for us that happens year to year around the NBA is normal. And so you have opportunities to reposition the roster. And so we've always said, best available. And I think two-way historically in the NBA, you had to be, top 10 on offense, top 10 on defense, or probably top 5 on offense, top 5 on defense to win a title. And so that's sort of been the big North Star that drives a lot of it.
And then I guess the other part is there's still day 2 of the draft, and then there's still free agency, and there might be trades that happen as well. Is there plans to sort of address the guard and center positions as well?
Yeah, of course. There's two more, like you said, there's 2 more avenues to do that. The draft is one, free agency is the other, and trades. And so now we'll turn our attention obviously to day 2 of the draft, but then get to trades and free agency. I think people saw yesterday a couple big deals that went down, and not that they were holding up the rest of the league, but I think that, gave everyone a chance to exhale. And so, what we've been, stockpiling and what we've been patient on, over the past couple of years, having a lot of assets, having our first round picks, having players under rookie scale contracts, that's allowed us to build and be the youngest team in the playoffs. But yeah, at a certain point, we want to be opportunistic in the trade market. And so, we'll look to do that, over the course of the summer and even into, the trade deadline next season.
Thanks, Bob.
See? These dishes are still dirty.
You need a detergent that cleans your dishes and your filter.
Filter?
Yep, my go-to is Cascade Platinum Plus. Only these action packs have double the Dawn, breaking down food residue, even on your filter. Cascade.
Thanks. Go ahead, Ryan.
Yeah. Hey, Bobby. It feels a bit retro doing the Zoom thing.
COVID days.
Yeah. Just 2-part question. You mentioned medicals. Were there any, obviously you're not going to mention anyone, but were there any players that you were strongly considering but kind of shied away for that reason?
No, I think we, as part of the risk profile, I think, going back to OG and there's been that. And so, no, to me, it's just part of the risk profile. Obviously, don't want to comment on anyone's specific, medical condition or what they have. But not shy away, but it's just part of the profile.
And then the second one, where do you see him fitting positionally, like on defense and offense in the NBA? I know he played some 5 there, a bit of 4. Like, you see him guarding 3s as well. Like how do you see it in the NBA?
Suppose most likely I see him wrecking havoc with CMB, right? That's probably the easiest one.
Yeah.
Thanks, Ryan. Go ahead, Cash.
Hey, Bobby. You mentioned the analytics kind of popping with Allen, and a lot of the analytics models and some of the predictive models had him a lot higher than he ended up going drafted. It was a similar story with Colin last year, and I was just wondering, what is it about a player's game, maybe at the college level, that translates analytically that maybe the eye test doesn't capture?
I'm not smart enough. You got to talk to the engineers over here. No, I think people are interested in the process, and so I think both of those guys are scouts identified, right? That's usually the first one, especially when there's small sample size. And so in Colin's case, he had a rookie or a freshman year at South Carolina. We watched him over his freshman year, and then had him on our radar going into a sophomore year. I think probably what the analytics do is maybe they help you see through the trees a bit, right? And so once you've identified the players that you like from a basketball perspective, the analytics can sift through them a little bit better. And obviously, we watch so many games in person, but we don't watch every game. And in some ways, the analytics watch every game.
So there's the first round, first couple of the Raptors. Part 2 will be tomorrow. So I have highlights for that tomorrow. Also tomorrow is going to be Canada soccer tournament tomorrow. So we'll have Canada Soccer World Cup highlights for you tomorrow. Also we'll have the Toronto Blue Jays highlights for you tomorrow night too. So all these highlights are going to be happening tomorrow. Well, actually today, because today's already Wednesday in some areas. So if you are in the States on the West Coast, it'll be tomorrow, but for my Canadian fans, it'll be later on today. So stay tuned for some more sports highlights on my YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe right now to at Johnny18623. You have all your sports highlights for you right here live on my YouTube channel and Instagram and X. Okay, so have a good one. See you all later. Bye bye.